Everyone's phone on silent. Cool. 5, 4. Are you doing your action thing? Yeah. Oh shit.
Oh, I love the number 8. Infinity.
Yeah, we're back. Unbelievable times. It is the second lady on the show. I know you love us for bringing in the female perspective. Can't wait for this one, ladies and gentlemen. Andrea is in the building. Yeah, how you feeling? How are you feeling?
Thank you for having me. It's exciting.
She's gassed. How are you, Mike?
Great, man.
I heard you had 3 hours sleep. Is that true?
Yeah. Well, 4 hours.
4 hours.
But we're here with you.
Why?
I was at a birthday party last night.
Oh. Well, I was flying back from London, so.
I think she wins.
Yeah.
Well, you had a couple of sleep.
I did. I had a terrible night's sleep. Moved into a new house.
Why? Were you stressed to sleep?
Yeah. Moved into a new house and everything just kind of went bad.
Oh.
Key broke in the lock, and then I had a shower this morning. The shower just decided to bust, and all the water was all over the place. Living in boxes and stuff, but it was good. It was alright, you know. New starts.
But things are meant to be broken, so new ones come along.
Yeah. Or I have to pay to get it fixed.
Have you seen that Victoria Beckham post where she posted David Beckham actually fixing the TV? I can see you do that.
I'll fix a little TV every now and then.
And it also makes you appreciate the hot water in your shower when you have it next week.
Tell you what though, that we paid extra to put a pressurizer in, and that for the last 3 years I've been living in this dead flat, and the water's just been spitting on my killing. Yeah, I had a shower this morning, and the pressure was like I felt like I was in Niagara Falls. I was in one of those far commercials. You know what I mean? Beard was going everywhere. It was brilliant. Enough about me. So. You know, welcome to the show. It's going to be like a bit of just a normal chat conversation. We'll just start off by, tell us who you are.
It's never a normal chat with you.
Yeah, I know.
You go really deep.
I'm trying not to be normal.
And then you analyze the other person. And then you're like, oh my God, I didn't realize I have this childhood trauma. How do I resolve it?
That's what I do. Things have to be broken in order for us to fix it, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what you said. All right, cool.
So, what would you like to know about me?
I just got to bust out the notes, you know what I mean? I always like doing this when guests come, just to look at the Instagram profile, just to see what it says. So it says Andrea Ioannou Cara. Is that, am I saying it correct?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Digital creator for... I see your pets here, which is adorable. Brand manager for Cara Cyprus. Is it Loewe? Loewe.
Yes,
so
Spanish.
It was Spanish, but it was a German person, right? It started as a German. I think it was something to do with Germany, if I don't remember. I'll come back to that.
Okay.
And OC says, MC, you rap?
No. MC is usually, when you're an MC for the events, you're the presenter for the events. It's not the same termination as like
master of ceremonies. You're controlling the microphone.
Exactly.
Amazing. Radio producer / host. There's a lot going on here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I usually find myself...
I like to keep myself busy.
Yeah. I think people that do a lot of things tend to have a lot on their minds, and they also tend to have the ability to kind of... difficult to relax. Okay? So we're going to go through some just some segments.
I see what you're doing there.
Yeah, we're on the point. Mike, man, start us off.
Yeah, all right. So, firstly, thank you for coming on to the show.
Thank you for having me.
And so you mentioned to us earlier that you have a background in law, or that you studied law.
Yeah, that was like ages ago. I studied law. That was my bachelor degree.
That's not on the Instagram. You know
no.
what I mean? So we're getting to know the real you.
And so, I mean, the reason why I ask is because, in Cyprus, the society that we live in, your parents, they want you to become a lawyer, an accountant, the
or a doctor. If you're not neither of these three, then...
It's the trifecta and it's top 3.
Yeah. It's like the standard professions that, Cypriot parents tend to want us to do.
Correct. And that's fair because Cyprus is a service provider in a way for foreigners.
That's also all they know. I mean, that when they were young, those were the jobs that would, give them a financial background.
Yeah.
Whereas now there's a lot more things that you can do.
Especially after COVID.
Yeah. And especially with social media. There's a lot more jobs that you can actually do. It's created a lot more opportunities. So how did you make the shift from, so you were 18, you went to university, you studied law, and then what was the journey after that? Did you do a master's in something else?
Well, when I went to study in London, I had the best and the worst time of my life because it was the best.
Preach.
Because of my lifestyle, I would say, and I had my friends there. So it felt really cozy and so friendly. But on the other hand, I didn't like my life because I was studying something that I knew it wasn't going to be the plan Z in my life. If anything goes wrong, I wouldn't want to practice law. Maybe because back in the days, the only law that you could do in Cyprus was litigation and like corporate law. There wasn't any creative aspect in that sense. So when I came back, I joined my family business because my mom didn't want me to come across as lazy. Clearly, I'm not, but you know, she didn't want me to relax and think that, oh, this is going to be my life now. I can count on everyone else and not do anything in my life. And so I joined my family business and I was like, oh my God, this is what my future is going to be. So funny enough, I went to one of the colleges here in Limassol just to start a short course. And the director there goes to me, girl, with your background, educational background, why would you spend your money in doing a short course? Why don't you consider having doing a master's now? I was like, but I don't know if they're gonna accept me. You know, I was like very self-conscious. I was so insecure because I studied something that I wouldn't have a future in it. So I thought there was no future. And he was like, no, trust me in this. Just apply with what you want to do. I suggest you take a look on this course and I'm going to help you out fill the application. So he gave me a brochure where the master's on it was digital media and communications. And there were various specializations, and I ended up getting accepted in that master's degree at the University of Nicosia. I graduated with summa cum laude. I think that's what it's called. Basically, I was the best graduate out of all masters, which was pretty amazing for me knowing that I didn't have... Thanks.
Nah, it's a big thing.
Yeah, for me, it was my first big achievement because I did it all by myself. And I did double specialization. I did journalism and PR and advertising. And I loved every single minute of it. I was traveling back and forth to Nicosia. And I didn't mind. It was like my me time during the ride there.
Oh, that's amazing. I mean, like, look, for me, self-importance and self-worth is, you know, by itself an amazing thing. It's really important to be able to know that you can do something on your own. Mm-hmm. Of course, everyone needs help at part of their time in their lives, and we all should accept help when we are needed to have that help. But there's something really special about doing something by yourself and also achieving it in your own way, I would say. And it's also important that, you know, you being the top achiever, it's nothing to take for granted. Because that would have been the next step, thinking, okay, I'm in the right path. I'm obviously doing something that I enjoy and it shows from my work, and it's that extra boost. Okay, I've finished top, so now I've got more confidence to do what I need to do. And I've had that personal feeling myself, like when I went to the School of Barbering, I finished top of my class and I was like, okay, this obviously is the right thing that I'm doing because it's given me that extra boost in order to know that, all right, I'm good enough.
Yeah.
You know, it's nice to get these little wins every now and then, but it's not a little win, it's a big win. So congratulations about that. I mean, I think everyone's really scared when they finish their course. I mean, I studied something and I didn't do what I studied.
Because especially in Cyprus, we are growing up feeling the need to count on someone else. Whereas I should point out that you can do whatever you want in your life. It might be a bit harder when you don't have the financial support by someone else, but you can work and study at the same time. It's going to be challenging, but it's just 1 or 2 or even 3 years of your life. And that's nothing compared to the rest of your life.
Yeah, for sure.
And it gives you much more confidence when you do it all by yourself. Now I know that no one can tell me that I cannot do it. I can do it, clearly. But yeah,
I think that's 88, if not 90% of the rest of the world. They have to study and work at the same time. I mean, we are very lucky to be able to have some of us a financial background to be able to help us to achieve our dreams. And if that doesn't work out, then we can rely on that. But the whole point is you did it without relying on anyone else. And
no, my parents weren't supportive during that time.
They weren't?
No.
Is it because you did something that they didn't see fit, or was it because you were going like against the family? Do you feel like it because it wasn't in their industry and in their vision?
It was a bit of everything. Basically, my mom was really disappointed that I quit law. And at the same time, she couldn't see a future in a degree that was more creative than it should be for Cyprus standards. But as we said, like nowadays, you can do whatever you want. And as long as you have the right social media channel to put it out there, it's going to be easy. I'm not gonna say easier, but it's gonna be easier for you to get recognized.
So how's your mom now with your decision?
When was the point where she like approved the choice that you made?
She's still not approving my choices, but at least when someone comes at the boutique and says to her, "Oh my God, Andrea, I saw her doing that. Congratulations!" She's like, "Oh, thank you," and she was like so proud. But to me, she's gonna be like, "Yeah, okay." Right, you should like focus on our business. I know you have your side hustles, but you know, but I know she's.
I think it's important, and you're also very like lucky and blessed that you found your calling as well. Because a lot of people, they get to 30, 40, 50, they still haven't found their journey.
True that.
And I remember when I finished uni, I had no idea what I wanted to do. And my sister said to me, just try different industries, and then eventually you'll tick off some boxes, and you'll realize what you're good at, what you're not good at, and you'll find, the path that you want to find. Correct. And I think in Cyprus, we need to be a bit more supportive of like our kids that come with different ideas, whether it's their own business, whether it's something that's out of the norm. But then you're an example of proving our parents wrong, or our families wrong. Sometimes when, as
my dad was not financially supportive at the time, but he was emotionally supportive. Yeah, he would say,
if not more important,
baby, do whatever you want. I was like, oh, really? Thanks.
Yeah.
But it's great just to have that one person. It doesn't always have to be your parents. It could be like a friend, it can be a cousin, it can be a stranger that you look up to him or her as a mentor. It doesn't always have to come from the family. Stop seeking that approval, so you're not gonna go anywhere. And I've done jobs in my life just to discover myself that I didn't really end up following them, like pursuing them.
Test out your skills as well.
Yeah. Because how do you know who you are if you don't know who you are?
Yeah.
Because if you are not getting out of your comfort zone, then you are stuck with the things that you learned whilst growing up. And you think that's the world, but the world is much bigger than what you know right now.
I think it's a scary thing not having like the unknown, right? People like their routine. It's comforting. They know what to expect. Nothing comes around the corner to scare you. And it's a simple way of going through life. A lot of people don't like that simple way of going through life. They want to experience more. They want to find something. They want to get scared. They want to get lost. They want to discover new things. They want to make mistakes. Because that's you as an individual being a curious individual. We're put on this earth once. We live once. And we hear it all the time. But do we really understand what that means? At the end of the day, you want to be like 60, 70, 80 years old and think, what the fuck did I do with my life? Or you can look back and say, I did this, I fucked up there, but I worked out there. They were disapproved, but then now they're approving. They hear from other people. Like, it always does come back to, everyone would like their parents' approval. It's a big thing. They're the people that put you into this world. In my eyes, parents are gods. They're the ones that made you, created you, nurtured you, gave you the path to do what you need to do. But that's it. Do what you need to do. I always said that parents want what's best for you, but they don't exactly know what's best for you. Of course, they're always going to want it. We're not going to realize until we're parents ourselves.
Yes.
You know, so it's very easy to judge. But don't forget, our parents did.
When you have kids, you'll understand.
You'll understand. Back in my day.
You want to limit the risk.
Yeah, for sure. But you also need to understand that
Or even eliminate
look,
it.
our parents did the best that they did with the knowledge that they had. So it's up to us to use that knowledge that we have now in order not to make the same mistakes in quotations, but to not make the same ununderstandings of the situation.
I think the new generation now has more access to information. So by exchanging opinions on social media, and you are not counting on the traditional media, you can listen to podcasts, you can understand that there is more going on out there. So you sort of listen to everything and then you filter and take whatever
Suits you.
Yeah, exactly. Whatever suits you.
So, like, you mentioned social media a couple of times, so I think it's only fair that we mention social media now. Social media, right? So I would say you can't trust everything that you see on IG. For sure. We see, like when we see your profile and your stories, it looks like you're having a fucking amazing time.
I am. No, but
No, it's good. I mean, like we want to see the reality of it, because there's someone that can see it as the limelight. There's someone that can see it as like, oh man, like this is so like truly amazing.
No one wants to see the reality.
Yeah. Okay.
As harsh as that sounds, everyone wants to look up to a certain lifestyle that is off the limits, and this is what they are dreaming about. Social media is about creating the dream, about creating a certain exclusivity, and this is what people find fascinating. Of course, I'm using social media sometimes to express myself and be like, I'm getting sometimes like anxiety attack, like once in a while. I posted once about my anxiety attack. I've also mentioned something about eating disorders, but I'm not focusing on that because everyone has their own things to deal with. So as soon as they switch on the TV, they switch on their apps, like scroll on in social media, on Instagram, they don't want to see something sad. They want to see something motivating. And of course that, partially it's my real life, but that's not even like 20% of what I do every day. I cry.
Yeah,
I love. I spend time with my family, with my friends. I'm not. Of course, I don't know. There are things that I'm not posting sometimes because I'm really self-conscious, and some other times I'm like, oh, people won't find it interesting.
And also to protect your personal life.
Correct.
So you want to have like, okay, you're gonna have a Andrea of Instagram and Andrea in real life.
Yes.
You mix both, I guess, sometimes. Yeah. You can't have your personal life on screen at all times.
This is fascinating.
It's very intrusive. It's very intrusive.
Look, doesn't that like fucking mess you up? Like, don't you feel like you have to look like a certain place? Like when you go out, do you feel like they're expecting you to look like the person that you are on Instagram? Do you feel like that's the kind of person you need to persona?
In the past, yes, I would feel that. But now, because I'm working on myself, I know that it's fine not to be like the best dressed, or it's fine if you take a selfie without makeup. But because I grew up in an industry, fashion industry, that people have expectations of you, and of course it's not the real life, especially fashion industry and beauty industry. You get to see the product that you're selling rather than the real self, because if you're your real self, you're not selling. And I'm using my platform to promote our family business. So that's why you would see me wearing like luxury brands all the time. But that's done, I wouldn't say on purpose, but I'm just selling my product. Yeah. And, but actually it's funny because that kind of backfires when I'm reaching out to media channels to get a job, because my background is media, and they're all like, oh, you should kind of loosen up the rich kid of Instagram kind of profile. I'm like, I'm not even close to that. I mean, I'm not the kind of person that will be loud and flaunt, and it's just the products that we are selling, but you will not see that kind of extravagant lifestyle. I don't know what they see. I guess they want me to be a bit more, I don't know if the right word is simple.
Like relatable.
Relatable, but at the same time, this is who I am, and that's why I'm different than someone else.
Sorry, how fucked up is that? They're telling you
Very
that you
fucked
need to seem less rich kid. Like, that's just what they've perceived from not even knowing you and just following your social media, for example.
Yeah.
But like you said, a lot of people don't understand that. But maybe that media that you went for is a bit more of a relatable kind of media. If you approach like higher end brands, then they would like what you're doing and what you're showcasing and how you present yourself. So fuck them. No, it's true.
Just do your thing.
And it's funny because like I don't know.
Do you see what I'm trying to say to you? Because that's on their perspective. On the higher brand would be another perspective. You're a brand manager of a company that has 5.4 million followers. Right. Their director won in 2018. I think was it 2018. Director, the only person to win men and women's fashion director or something, right? Yes. I need to have a look at that again. Back up my shit. But that's not a small thing to be able to be part of and also be a brand manager for it. Yes,
it's a huge responsibility.
So it's a huge responsibility. So if certain people tell you to change the way you are, well, no, because that's the way you are. Whether it's the way you are on Instagram or the way you perceive yourself, that's what you need to do. Like you said, coming from a background of fashion, you need to be fashionable. Like it comes with it. I'm not saying to you like, if you're a background of being, okay, let me make this straight, right? Because what I started to realize with social media is that it has a certain effect on you. And whether you like it or not, it is part of your personality. You said that I'm doing these things so they can sell. Andrea's selling.
Yes.
It's not what you're wearing. It's not the brand name. It's you're the person. So at the end of the day, they're choosing you to associate their brand with you. You're not associating you with their brand.
Exactly.
So you're the one that's promoting it. You're the one that's giving out the feedback. You're the one that's wearing it and styling it. So don't ever think it's what you're wearing.
Yes.
It's you.
Exactly.
So never forget that.
Sorry. And also it's a double-edged sword on social media, because if you're too real, they're like, why is this guy crying about his problems? I don't want to hear about his, problems that he had this morning. If you're too perfect, they're like, no way they live that. So they're not perfect all the time. So whatever you do, people are always going to... I
remember as soon as I graduated, I went to this big media channel, and the guy who was interviewing me at the time, he goes to me, why don't you stick to your family business? Just create a channel there and like write articles. I'm like, but this is not what I want to do. I don't want to be my mom's daughter.
You want to be a product of your family.
Yes, I want to do something for myself, and what they do not realize, because they see this kind of perfect picture on Instagram, that I really tried my best to pay for my studies, to like get a good grade. I had the best time, but what they don't realize that I worked hard for it, and I even had jobs that I wasn't even getting paid, and I would like thinking, oh my God, would I manage with my monthly salary? Because I was doing two jobs. One job was paying me, and the other one was not. So if you're like doing two jobs at the same time, or sometimes three, and like just to like build your brand as Andrea and not as Cara. I don't know. People, they think that I have everything like on a silver plate, but in reality, I'm not. When I'm not going to work, I'm not getting paid. Like it's like a regular employee. If I'm missing work, okay, it's 2 days. 2 days are gone. I'm very sorry. You have to find a way to manage and get through the month yourself. I mean, don't get me wrong. If I would ask something from my family, they would provide it to me. But I don't want that, because I've watched them do it themselves, because they are self-made, my mom. And and my dad as well. But I'm focusing the topic mainly on my mom because we are working together. But I saw her, how she did what she did, and I'm amazed. And I look up to her, but at the same time, it's challenging because there is this competition. Why aren't you coming to work and doing this and that on the side? And people don't realize it. Even my employees that I'm working, I remember I was working, I'm not going to say where, but recently. And I go to the director's office and I said, Mr. Alki, let's say, Mr. Alki, you know, I didn't get my salary. Could you please check on that? And he goes to me, εντάξει, Andrea, like, you're not gonna
Starve.
Yeah, exactly. You're not gonna starve. I was like, okay. And then in my mind was like, oh my God, I haven't gotten paid by my family business because I haven't been to work for 2 months. And then this guy thinks I'm like the rich kid of Beverly Hills, and I'm not, you know? And it wasn't that I needed the money. Of course, I didn't need the money, but I worked for it. So that's my value. Yeah. It's not about what I'm going to do with the money, but since I worked for it, I'm allowed to get it. And it took me a while to understand that I need to speak up for myself and not let these guys, sometimes women, depends on the occasion and the position, take advantage of you. And I was taken advantage of many times, mainly because of my family business, and at the same time because they think, it's okay, she's not going to starve.
That's fucked up.
I know.
I mean, you don't really think of these things happening because obviously we don't know people who are in this position. Another main reason that we wanted to have you on the podcast is to find these things out because it's very easy to judge. We are judgmental creatures by nature. Yeah. We do look at other things. We do look where the grass is greener, and we try to pick on things that are imperfections. And of course, you know, that takes a toll on you mentally, physically, and everything else that comes through it. Because from what I'm hearing is you look up to your mum so much because she did it by herself and you want to take the same path. So, you know, you in your head, you're like, well, my mum should understand it. She did it on her own. Why don't I do it on my own? Obviously, she's just worried, making sure that you're on the right path and you're taken care of. And maybe in her head, she's built something to give it to her daughter or her son. So she's thinking like, why is this not happening? So it's important, like, for way you understand, it's also important the way to understand how she understands. And then you'll find a bit of clarity. But, you know, whoever this guy is, obviously, he's just a lad, sad, lonely man who's probably hasn't got laid. And, you know, a lot of people don't realize how much words affect others, you know, and it's hurtful because they, like we said, we see a certain perspective, and that's not always the real case. But
I'm glad because as a person, I was very naive when I was younger. I used to live in this fairy tale kind of place, even before social media. And I would think that everyone is so kind.
Didn't we all, though?
Yeah.
I mean, most of us.
I think, especially as a teenager as well, you sort of live in a bubble.
Yes.
And but you have to like eat some dirt.
Yeah.
I think to realize what is out there.
Don't worry, it's coming. If you're living in a fantasy right now, it's coming.
Yeah.
And I will tell you a story about my Instagram account. Like 2 or 3 years ago, my Instagram all of a sudden got lost. And it was during the time that I just started working on TV. And for me, it was such a big deal. They wanted me to promote myself on social media. I had to be more active, so I started being more active. And then all of a sudden I went on my profile and my profile got locked, like it disappeared. I had to go through these automatic steps that I had to take, and there was no step back. You have to like in a way disable your account by default. You couldn't do anything. So my account got lost. I did all the identification procedure, but I had to get a picture with my ID, with everything, nothing. And you know what funny enough, you know what the justification was? What was the reason that they shut down my account? You are pretending to be someone else. And that's like as real
That's
as
deep, innit?
Yeah, I know. And I have a screenshot because people don't believe me, but that was the reason why they switched off my account. Obviously, someone must have reported me, or I don't know what went wrong, but that was a turning point in my life because, as you said, it's not deep. I mean, that's the reason why they shut it down. But for me, it kind of gave me something to think about, that indeed I was pretending to be someone else. I was the product of my family, of society. So I had to really sit down and reconsider, take action, and decide who Andrea was going to be for the rest of her life, because I was just following whatever everyone wanted for me to do. But yeah, 2 years, and so now I recreated a new account.
Did that give you an opportunity to get away from social media? Because I mean,
Yes.
some people, they take a break for like 6 months, 3 months, whatever, just to like
Exactly.
regroup. Did you?
Sorry.
Yeah.
Talk about take a break. I'll take a break, halftime break. Bang. Because Stella's going to knock me out. Canuto panda. Nena. Maxi.
Action.
I'm not even going to go with the intro. Spicing it up.
And we're back.
That's it. Hard. Introduce. Go over the intro. Let's see what you got.
Welcome back to the most spectacular podcast in Cyprus.
Bigging it up, man.
Alki and Mike will be our hosts for the day, and they're having a guest, Andrea. Oh, that's me.
Damn, we should bring her on. You could do our intros. That was nice. That was refreshing.
That was very refreshing.
Better than me screaming down the mic. Cause a little break for you guys. That's where we put our sponsors, so that could be your time. So thank you so much for watching and stuff. We're going back straight in. We're going deep. We're going to be deep now. I like going a bit deep. Hey, easy. PG. For sure. But yeah, you mentioned some things before about like anxiety and eating disorders. This is deep stuff, but it shouldn't be. The reason I'm saying it shouldn't be is because so many people go through it. And what I would like for you, if it's okay for you, of course, if you feel comfortable, is to go a bit more into detail in how it came across and how you felt during the time. Of course, you don't have to. It's up to you. But I think because, like you said, you use your social media to promote so much of your work and your fashion industries and who you are as a person, your media. I think it would be nice to take this time to also help others that are probably going through the same thing.
Yes.
And let's not lie, it's mostly common in women, statistically wise, for eating disorders, but for anxiety, it's maybe more in men. But the fact that we all go through these things and, we see something that's always happy and limelight and events and flashing cameras. Oh, they go through this as well. They have anxiety and they went through something bad. And I think it's important for people watching it to kind of realize that we're all in the same boat. And one time in your life or not, you will go through these things. Do you think it was like the pressure of having to satisfy everyone else, like you said, instead of doing what you need to do, that maybe took this on, or you want to drive us down that road?
But in order to have the pressure of satisfying everyone else, it means that there's something not working. So you are trying to satisfy everyone else just to make everyone happy and live the life that you are dreaming of. So you cannot really point out exactly what it is, but there are different aspects in your life that might not be working. So you are controlling your eating patterns because that gives you the idea, the misconception that you have power over your life and control, whereas you clearly don't. And I think what really happened is that I knew that my parents were going to get divorced, and then I went to London and I was studying something that I didn't like, And I don't know if I didn't really like it or whether it was bad timing for me to go and study law. And then there was, I had a relationship that ended, but that didn't play a huge role, the relationship part. It's just that I didn't have anyone to seek support, the emotional support. It wasn't what kind of triggered the eating disorder. I would say mainly it was just me try to make my parents happy so that they will be happy, because I knew they weren't at the time. And also coming from a fashion background, growing up in this industry, you see a lot of perfect bodies. We idolize a certain type of body. You're like, okay, if I'm that, then everyone will be happy. But it's not about your body. It's not about, and it's not always about you losing a couple of kilos. It's deeper than that. It's like it's a mental disease. It's something that we all have it, but some people I don't want to relate it to cancer, but it's like everyone can get cancer, but
it has to be triggered in some way.
To some people it gets triggered, and to some others it just sleeps for their whole life. It's the same thing as an eating disorder. You go through it, you might recover, and then it might come back if something major triggers it. But if you work on yourself and your self value, confidence, then there is less risk in you going through that. I don't know how to explain it.
I think you explained it fine.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know, if you lost, let's say, a couple of kilos, would you look in the mirror and be like, I need to lose more? Or what was your response to that? How would you feel? Would you like, okay, I need to fix my diet?
No, it wasn't about me wanted to lose kilos, but I was scared to gain weight. It was more of a fear of, I don't know what was going on in my head, but it was a very weird and scary situation, because, you know, when you're watching those cartoons and you have the little angel here and the little devil, it was exactly the same. You could like hear voices in your head and you were going crazy. Like, I remember I was in Milan with my mom for work. Well, I wasn't working at the time, I was studying, but I visited Milan with her just to get my mind out of it. I would see like the ice creams and the croissants and like whatever as we were scrolling. And I would think, oh my God, I really want to try it. And then the other voice in my head was like, no, you don't. And then I was like, but I do want. And then it was like back and forth. And it was that point where I felt that I was going crazy, because I couldn't control myself. And it really is all about controlling yourself and be disciplined, but disciplined in the right way. Oh, guys, I really want to explain it in the right way. But it's been 10 years now, but when you're going through such a major mental illness, your brain kind of protects you from those memories. If you would ask me closer to the time, I would be able to analyze it further. But now it's like I'm being protected by it, not to think of it. I am trying my hardest to remember every single detail, because I know that's going to help people. But when someone is approaching me and asking me for help, like, how should I deal with it? My girlfriend or myself, I'm like going through this. What should I do? In the past, it was like triggering me. I was going crazy. Like, I would help them. I would give them all my advice, my tips and everything. But because I didn't get the right treatment at the time, because it's still a taboo in Cyprus. We don't really talk about it. And we don't have a lot of people that are specializing in eating disorders. We have psychologists, we have psychiatrists, we have doctors, but because we are not open to talk about it, the doctors don't get to deal with a lot of cases. So why there are more doctors abroad is because there are more cases being reported, so they have the experience and the expertise to deal with it. But in Cyprus, we don't talk about it. I can walk...
Especially 10 years ago, it was a long time. I mean, you think it is a long time, but again, it isn't. But for Cyprus, I do think it is.
It is. And we didn't have social media, by the way.
No,
so I felt really alone.
Exactly. It's funny, you said the exact same thing that I said. I mean, word for word. When we were talking with Doc Stefan, like our first podcast, I said, you remember in cartoon when there was a little devil and an angel?
Oh, really?
I said the exact, I need to find it and pull it out. But see, that is a mental disorder. And all mental disorders are the same in the way that they're scary, the way they affect you, of the voices, of being controlled. So what I'm hearing is what you explained is that you use that as an element of control. Nothing else in your life you could control, but you can control what you eat. So that was your way of dealing with it at the current time.
Yeah.
Your brain doesn't want anything bad for you. Even if it's doing something bad, it thinks it's protecting you.
Yeah.
So you could always think it as like your ally. But I know what you mean about now your brain is created like a bubble and it's to protect you from not going back to that moment.
Yes.
And I'm feeling it myself.
Defense mechanism.
Yeah, with certain things I'm going through. Anything that you go through will just make you stronger.
It's like when you have a car crash and then you forget, the police goes to you, could you please give me a report? And you're like, I really don't remember what happened. It's exactly the same
Like a
thing.
blackout.
Yeah, blackout. Oh, and let me tell you that before having an eating disorder, well, I was prone to it, I guess. But I had an accident in London. I remember that I went out with my friends and was during the time that I had to submit an assignment. I was like super exhausted, but all of my friends, like girlfriends, were in town. So we arranged to go out. And when I went out, I was taking care of every single one of them. And then all of a sudden I passed out. I fell flat on my face and I cracked my cheekbone. And that's how it all started. We went on a ride on NHS ambulance. Pretty funny. Well, the girls were drunk, so they were making fun of it. I got a
Shutting up the nurses.
Yeah, I got a concussion.
My friend's fine. What time do you finish work, dude?
I got like, and at the club, I felt everyone doing a circle around me. I see how I died, and they didn't want to like lift me up. Thanks God they did the right thing, because as soon as someone gets injured, you can't really move them because it might cause further damage. Yep. And so they left me on the floor, and I could feel everyone standing around me, and I was like, okay, am I still on earth, or did I go to heaven? Like, am I really allowed to go to heaven now? Anyway, and so
heaven's a fucking club.
So they lift me up, they took me upstairs, and I couldn't communicate because I had a mild concussion. And I remember my friend sitting in front of me and saying to me, Andrea, if you hear me, just like blink your eyes or something. And I blinked my eyes, so because I couldn't speak, and it was like very scary experience, like very shocking to me. And they didn't realize at the time that I got injured, but as soon as we walked right across the street where my friend was renting a flat, my nose started bleeding, and that's when they called the ambulance. We went to NHS, and well,
there's always something major that happens. It's a stressful factor. So something happens that is the first time, it's scary, it's a different experience, it causes stress, and then after that, unfortunately, it's a following effect of you having a certain disorder, mental disorder, so forth. So there's always something that goes back. I mean,
because you stay home and your mind goes to overdrive. You're thinking about everything.
So I remember like bumping into you, and you were on a run, and then in the morning you're doing like Muay Thai, and then you had your arena show, and then you were going to MC at the new casino, and it felt like you were like non-stop.
Yes.
No, I kind of find myself doing the same thing where I'm constantly busy at work. In the morning, I'm trying to get up early, go gym, and then I'm talking, and then I go home, and then I'm active. Like, I don't really have time to calm down. And I think it's because I don't really like that calm down. When there's not me being active, then this starts working.
Yes.
Do you find that?
How do you find the, like, recharging your social battery? which is an issue that I have.
How
after speaking all day and then doing further activities, you're going to Mai Tai, for example. How do you find the social battery to interact with the people in the gym, but then also with your coach, and then being, you know, an MC at the casino? How does that?
I'm still trying to figure it out. If you find the,
I think we all are. But I mean, like,
know.
okay,
my goal for 2023 was for me not to have free time, because if I had free time, it would mean that I would be thinking about the things that weren't working in my life, and I just wanted to like have a day job at the radio station, and then at night I was going to the casino to present, because I didn't want to have any free time. I even got a dog, and I was like, oh my God, why did I put myself into this situation? In the beginning it was hard, but I was enjoying. I think that was kind of recharging my batteries, because I would get to meet new people. I would socialize in a different way, but I was doing something different, so it kept me interested in what I was doing. And I loved it, because all of the jobs that I was doing at the time were they were related to my master's degree. That's journalism, PR and advertising. So for me, it was the best thing. But now that I'm not working at the casino, I'm not doing the radio show, I'm trying to figure out ways to keep myself busy.
Cool. So, I mean, I think everyone tries to constantly be active. You know, we are our biggest critic.
Yeah.
And sometimes we do fear what the brain has to come up with. My auntie, who's a psychologist, said to me, imagine your head like a radio station. Mm-hmm. Sometimes there's a crappy radio station on, you want to change the channel. It's up to you to change it. And not only it's up to you, you have control to change it. If every single channel is shit, then you also have the chance to turn down the volume.
True.
So think of it in that aspect. Try and think of it as a simple way. That's what helps me. So for example, if I'm having a shitty thought, I'll change the thought. It's like changing the channel. If every thought's shitty, then I'll just try and turn down the volume, and eventually you're going to be more okay with being with you, because you are amazing.
Thank you.
Never forget that. And it's very important to constantly remind ourselves and give us like a pat on the back every now and then, because we do go through a lot. There's a lot of challenging facing us. We always, you know, effectively have to do something, but sometimes we have to learn how not to do something. My cousin was telling me, you need to learn how to chill. And it's a difficult, you know, thing to do, because all of a sudden you're like, okay, I'm going to go to the mountains. I'm not going to do nothing. I'm going to throw my phone. I'm going to sit there for 2 days. You get there, you look at the sky, and you're like, the fuck do I do now? Do you know what I mean? Yeah, the sky is blue. Nice cloud. Cloud looks like a lion. Oh, that's cool. Do something, and I'm like, the fuck? And then these thoughts come in your head. But it's, you have to let them come. And then when they come, you have to let them go.
Yes.
It's important to try and do that. When do you walk?
Yes, okay. I was about to say.
Do you walk with headphones?
No.
Good.
I will
hear me out, all right? When you walk with headphones, like, I know it sounds crazy, but like you have music in you, you're doing it. But by being active, which is what I'm hearing you need to do, but you're also being active, but by being with your thoughts. So get AirPods, for example, and just put noise cancellation so you can't hear shit.
Yeah.
And then walk, and then just let them come and let them go. And you'll realize that because you're actively doing something at the same time, and your thoughts is an easier process, and you'll be able to kind of process what you're doing and your thoughts with it. Let them come and let them go. That is meditation. Meditation is not the art of thinking about nothing and sitting in like cross-legged and singing Kumbaya and humming. Meditation is purely based on the fact of letting go.
Very true.
It's allowing a thought to come, to not affect you, and to leave. If we overanalyzed every single thought we had, then we'll be going crazy.
That's very true.
So you have to pick and choose. Okay, that was a shit thought. I'm not going to dwell on it. That was a crappy thought. I'm not going to dwell on it. That was a funny thought. I'm going to laugh it off. That's a really nice thought. Let me fixate on that.
I think also having your headphones in, you're ignoring your thoughts. So you're not giving yourself a chance to think.
Exactly.
and also listen to the world. So you're having a walk or run on the beach. You're listening to the waves. You're hearing the birds.
It's lovely.
Yeah.
So that also integrates with your
Correct.
thoughts.
That's grounding.
Yeah.
That's grounding.
You
right
know
there.
what? I was never a pet person. Only for one reason. I never wanted to take the responsibility of someone else because I didn't know how to take the responsibility of myself. And then, in a way, I felt like really alone. I didn't want to, just hang out with the wrong crew. And one day I decided, I went to a friend of mine. I fell in love with my dog.
Frenchie.
My Frenchie, and I took him home with me. It was like the hardest thing ever. I wanted to abandon him at some point, and then I'm like, what if he was like a human baby? Would I give my baby to adoption? I was like, no, Andrea, you took the decision, you're gonna stick with it, and you're gonna make sure he has a good life. And he helped me out because I do not have a choice. As soon as I go home, I have to go for a walk because I need to take him out. And that really helped me with my meditation, as you said. And I do walk next to the beach so I can hear the waves. In the beginning, I was putting my AirPods, listening to music. I was like, you know what? I really don't want to listen to music. I really want to be present in the moment. And of course, I need to take care of him because he's still a baby, and I need to be able to understand.
We're all babies.
what he's doing.
We're all in
but
the same boat.
It helped me because I walk twice per day. Once in the morning, once in the evening. If I had the flexibility of time, I would have done it for maybe 4 times per day. But even those 2 times, they're perfect.
Pets are truly amazing.
Yeah.
And we mentioned it so many times before, but I like the way you put it into perspective, because it is like taking care of someone else. And when you can take care of someone else, then you realize I can take care of myself. But you can't take care of anyone else unless you take care of yourself. So it's very important. Dogs are always excited no matter where they're going. They have no idea where they're going, and they're super excited.
Yeah.
We should be more like dogs. You don't know what's going to... We have to have everything planned. I'm doing this, then I'm going to do that. At 10 o'clock, I've got this interview, then I've got a job. Oh shit, what am I going to do today? It scares us not knowing what we're going to do today. It shouldn't be a scary thing.
And you're thinking always on the future.
Exactly.
What am I doing in 1 hour?
It shouldn't be a scary thing. It should be wow, I don't know what I'm doing today. How amazing is that? I've got no plans. I'm free. But that scares us because maybe it's the freedom that we're scared of. Maybe it's the unknown that we're scared of. Obviously, it is the unknown, but sometimes we need to do that. Just wake up one day with no plans and say, I ain't got a fucking clue. I'm just going to get in a car and let my brain take me somewhere.
Yeah.
Let the dog guide me, for example. I'm not going to take him for a walk. He's going to take me for a fucking walk. I mean, where are we going, dude? Where are we going? So it's really important to address that because, maybe your 2003 was to not have any free time. Maybe 2004, Andrea, is to have some free time.
Yeah, maybe. I guess
that might be a cool goal for you to try and do that. That's my goal. I always try and find myself constantly active and doing stuff, and I want to take a step back and I want to spend a bit more time with the missus. I want to maybe not do nothing, not have anything planned so much.
Thing.
Isn't literally. But
it's the expectation you put on yourself, and
it's also
you always feel like you can accomplish more.
Use everything to your advantage. So maybe your eating disorder is actually a blessing in disguise.
Oh, for sure.
Okay, thank God you agreed. I was like,
for sure,
going down a risky path, but because
the
the way that you had control of what you didn't consume, and you've learned that control over yourself, is the way that you can control your life now, but in the good way. So you have to go for a walk in the morning. You have to eat a bit healthier. You can keep yourself active. So that stuff will only make you stronger. And like you said, back in 10 years ago, there wasn't that much help out there. Andrea's lost a lot of weight. Is she okay? What's going on? And you're hearing all these things, and it has a knock-on effect because, like we said before, people don't know what other people are going through.
Yes.
They're looking at what they see. Nowadays, there's a lot more plus-size models, skinny-size models. There's guys, girls going through different things, and it's a lot more relatable. I understand. Myself, personally, I was, in certain aspects, still very against certain things. But the more we talk about things, and we had a good conversation with Stella the other day, and also with with your sister, and it made me understand, why are you afraid of this? How does it affect you from certain people's decisions? And it doesn't. It's just a personal thing. But that was my problem. Is I was scared for my future's sake and my kids, or seeing certain things that I don't agree with. That's me. They might agree with that. Do you know what I mean? And who am I to stop that in a way? I know I'm kind of babbling on.
Once you you stop adopting the world changing around you, that's when you become the oldest person in the room. The old person in the room. And you don't want to be the old person in the room.
Yeah, you don't. You don't want to be the old person.
If you're not adapting, you're staying in the past. So whether it's technology, whether it's new trends, whether it's different topics that are being discussed, like gender neutrality, which we've had a lot of discussions about. If you're like hateful against it, you won't move with the world. You won't have a bright future. Sorry, I'm stalling here.
No. I mean, I think it's a controversial subject because
this is a 4 hours.
No, it's the process of changing what you once thought. Right. That's the most difficult thing is changing, because obviously we're used to something that we mentioned before. It's a routine, and you're comfortable being in it. So. Yeah, you just fucking got that out, man.
Let me tell you.
We're a bit dark there.
Get rid of that whole section.
I will tell you about.
Because I'm still a hater in a lot of things. Yeah.
Okay, let's wrap up by telling you this story about my dog. He has 2 names. One name, it's Silver, because he had this silverish kind of color when I first got him. And the second name is Namey. Namey is the cutest version of Neymar, because, well, I love football, but at the same time, you know, I got so bored of listening to people like, oh, are you dating anyone? So I was thinking, if I name my dog like human name, I would be telling everyone, oh yeah, I have to go home, Neymar is waiting for me. So everyone think that a hot Brazilian guy is expecting me home.
Well, we don't know who's waiting for you at home. You like football?
I love football.
I had no idea. What team do you support?
I support good players now, because I don't think...
What the hell is that? No.
Well, so no teams.
That's not nice.
No.
Who's your team? You have to support some...
Respects the craft.
I don't care. That's bullshit.
Yeah.
Say it.
I'm embarrassed to say it. Because when I was younger, I was supporting... Well, I'm still supporting Manchester United, but...
Yeah,
We're struggling a lot.
We're all struggling with that. Can we get some questions from our back crew?
Of course.
Or was it called back crew? Fuck, that's wrong.
Back crew?
What's the word?
Production.
No, it was the backstage crew.
Backstage crew.
Back crew.
By the producers.
Yeah.
By...
Editors, producers,
Yeah.
everything, man.
All right, so I've got one question for the 3 of you guys.
Nice.
Can you recall a past fashion trend or choice that makes you cringe now, but you thought was incredibly cool at the time? It doesn't have to be necessarily like clothing, but maybe like a style that you're doing, maybe with your hair or makeup or piercings or
Fuck, where do I start?
or yours.
I know mine.
Go on, then.
So when I was like 10 years old and I just started gelling my hair, I didn't know how to gel my hair properly and I had really thick hair. So I used to do a tintin in the front and then spike it up a little bit. I'm not a tintin. It's basically just a tintin, and then
Oh, no.
and I went to school for like 3 years like that, and no one told me anything.
Oh, man. Shit. Go on.
I don't know. Because at the time, they were in, yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe the way that my mom was dressing me when I was like younger and I didn't have an opinion.
Yeah, that's always embarrassing looking back. Your mom dressed you up as a pumpkin.
She had a good taste, but there were like 1 or 2 outfits that you're like cringing over them.
I think in fashion it's quite difficult, right? Because something like shoulder pads was in and then afterwards they weren't and now they're back in. Or like dog tooth patterns. I think fashion, it's, that was there at the current time, so you have to appreciate it. It's part of the history.
Like now the 90s trends are back.
Yeah.
See, like talk about 90s trends. I used to bang out these like 3/4 jeans. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, man. They were
3/4 jeans. I used to have middle parting in the front.
I had 3/4 jeans that you could zip up the fourth part.
Come on. Yeah. They were top. 3/4 jeans. I used to have middle parting only in the front triangle.
No.
Wait, it gets worse. And spiky on the back. And you know them hats that...
Oh, you know that character in Charlie's Angels? The villain? Oh my God.
The one obsessed with the hair.
Yeah.
that was kind of me. But still obsessed with hair.
His face is going to be on the video right now.
For sure. And the thing is, with the spikes on the back, and I used to have the hat with no, like a visor. It was like no top, so the hair could still show. Don't laugh at me, Stella. You said it's embarrassing, yeah? And I remember like Mirafora come up to me in school and she's like, Alki, why's your hair like that? I'm like, don't you like it? She's like, yes, sir. I was like, aye. It looked fucking awful.
I don't like low waist jeans.
Low waist?
Yeah, like low rise jeans.
Like Britney Spears jeans?
Yeah.
Yeah, but now it's high waist jeans.
Oh, well, we're going back to the low rise.
Is it? Is that what's going on? Hey, look at sneak peek into fashion, yo. We didn't even mention that. Because
I know.
It's like the baggy jeans are back, isn't it?
Yeah.
They've been back for the last
yeah,
2-3 years.
I love bagging jeans.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
you can tell.
Yeah. Cargo.
Baggy jeans, boot, little top blazer, very business style.
Thank you. Maybe I will look back at it like 10 years later and be like, what was I thinking?
Baggy jeans with a blazer? You got a question for us?
I do.
Go on in.
So, what's your hidden talent?
Is that to all of us?
Hidden. Well, it wouldn't be that hidden if I say it. I don't know. I sing. I don't know if
You
people,
sing?
Yeah, I don't know if people know that.
Sing for us.
No, but when I was a kid, I wanted to become a singer and actress. And then I chose a more serious job, but at least I get to be on stage still.
That is very true. See a lot of similarities. Go on, Wu-Tang.
Hidden talent. That's a difficult one, man. You go first.
I don't know. Hidden talent. I don't know. I like making people laugh. I think that's my...
But it's not hidden.
It's not hidden, is it? No.
No.
Yeah, hidden talent. I don't know.
I have no idea.
Anything, like mine is that I can do this.
The fuck is that? I'll have to try that when I stand up.
I don't feel that special now.
I like the fact that no one's seen what you've done. Could be anything. I don't know, hidden talent.
I draw too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're saying everything that I'm going to say. I like drawing. I wanted
We're
to be an actor.
soulmates.
Yeah, I know. I wanted to be an actor when I was a kid as well. I wanted to I wanted to go like Hollywood and...
And then it gave us depression.
Yeah, pretty much. Facts. Yeah, I like drawing.
Singing, dancing.
Singing,
I found like a
dancing.
summer school in New York and I said to my mom, I want to go. And she was like, are you crazy?
Yeah.
No, you're staying home.
Well, my dad wanted to send me to acting school. Is that like a Christmas pass? Come on.
Yeah.
My dad wanted to send me to acting school. My mom didn't let me go when I was really young because I wanted to be like an actor and stuff. But everything happens for a reason.
Never
right?
too late.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, let's manifest
I
it.
think it's like...
No, you never know. It doesn't have to be like, you don't have to have a major career, but at least have a really good movie out.
It's not bad.
Yeah.
Just be featured a little bit. It's a little small feature.
And you could definitely do TV.
Come on, man. Don't gas me up, man. On a Sunday. Kayezi Meres and stuff. Go on, what's your hidden talent?
Alki starts sending CVs to people.
What's your hidden talent?
I can moonwalk.
Yeah.
Moonwalk. Ooh.
Can we record that? Go on, let's see.
Backstage.
Get the fuck up, man. I just get the fuck up and do it.
We'll add it.
I want to see it. Oh, he's doing it.
No,
I'll show you guys later.
We'll add it.
So I had like a massive obsession with Michael Jackson when I was a kid. And I took myself to moonwalk.
Oh.
Nice, man.
I used to visualize like having a duet with him in my
So
room.
I haven't done it for a couple of years, so it may not be very.
Leave it out.
Yeah.
Any more questions?
All right, so we got one more question. If you could go back in time and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would it be?
Care less about what people think.
Yeah. Maybe I would say to myself, start investing more of yourself, doing the things you love and dream about, than helping. I wouldn't say helping, but sacrificing yourself to let the others follow their dreams, because this is in reality what you want to do. And yeah, I don't know if it makes sense, but
Makes a lot of sense.
yeah.
Crop that. Go on, Mike.
I'd say to not seek approval from others, either from family, friends, just from yourself.
All right, man. Yeah, like I said before, just don't really care what other people think. I think that was a big part of my upbringing. I was always worried about what other people are going to think about me, and if I'm cool enough to be in this barrier, or if I'm doing this, or if I'm doing that right.
I think most teenagers go through that.
Yeah, just self-love. Yeah. What did you do? Was that sign language? Two session one. All right, 2 minutes finished. All right, cool. Let me just run it back. Just bust out the notes. No. Just maybe we can edit this bit out, or I'm just not doing much. What's it called? All right, fuck whoever. We can
Tell me.
No, the only last thing I want to do, I've got to touch on, is the fact that where do you see yourself in the future? Like, everything that you're doing, is it leading towards something? Do you inspire to have your own brand? Do you inspire to have your own as like a personality? Does this thing of a social influence mean anything to you? Or are you doing everything that you're doing now because you just enjoy it? Or do you think it will serve you well in the future?
I do think that I'm still going to be involved in my family business because it's growing and it's doing super well at the moment. But on a personal level, I really believe that I will be the most demanded presenter in Cyprus, because I know that I've got what it takes, and I've already believed in myself, and now you just need just a couple of doors to open so that the people can see what you've got.
I'm going to end it on that, man. That was powerful. Fantastic. It's been amazing to have you on the show, and stick with that. I'm very looking forward to seeing what you do with yourself, and you put yourself in difficult situations before, and you've come out better. Never forget, love yourself a bit more. You deserve it. Enjoy the ride. Do what you need to do. And thanks for being on the show, man.
Thank you, Andrea.
Thank you
And
for inviting
we look forward to seeing
me.
you around presenting.
Yes,
Yeah,
I will
for
be
sure.
back for sure.
I love that. The most demanded presenter.
Love it.
Like to have that self-worth is really, really important. So we can take anything away from this podcast is self-love. If you want to do something, go do it. No one can tell you differently, right?
And remember, you're the prize.
You are the prize, man. One life, go live it. Going out with the outro song. That was Andrea Ioannou, man. That was really, really, really cool. It's nice to get an insider person. Obviously, we didn't really touch too much on your family stuff or the fashion because we just care about you. You're the most important thing in the world to yourself, and that's how. Hey yo, mic drop. That's how it should be. Thank you so much for giving us a bit of an insight. Hopefully, this lets people know who Andrea is and why she does what she does and how much love and effort she puts into it. That's all right. It could be from the small one. We don't mind. We love you, Mike.
Love you guys.
Love you guys.
Thank
Subscribe,
you, Aki.
like.
Thank you, Mike.
See
Subscribe,
you soon.
follow.
To your
These
AI.
guys are extraordinary.
All right,
Don't
let's do
miss
this.
out.
Let's do this. Thank you very much.
Thank you.